So, who are the top 10 fantasy football quarterbacks this season? That is the question I'm answering today. So, any questions, comments, concerns, drop those down below. But let's get into the top 10. Now, 6 through 10 on my list here today are all guys that can get it done with their arm. We all love those guys that can do the dual threat, hey? The Kyler Murrays, the Jaden Daniels, the Josh Allens of the world that can be elite on the ground and through the air. But these are guys that are just that great with their arm, and with the offenses around them, they put up great numbers, and they've proven they've been great fantasy quarterbacks. So Patrick Mahomes, Bo Nix, Dak Prescott, and Jared Goff, all guys can be intertwined. They're all ultimately kind of in the same tier. Now, at number 6 is a guy that I think is kind of in the best situation possible to repeat as a top 5 fantasy quarterback because he has so many weapons around him. That is Baker Mayfield, a guy that on the left side of your screen, you see his receiving core, but for my audio listeners, let's run through it. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin when he comes back from injury, Jalen McMillan, who broke out at the end of last season, Emeka Egbuka and Tez Johnson as rookies. You have his Boomer Sooner buddy in Sterling Shepard. That is just his wide receiver core. Outside of that, you have Cade Otton, who broke out last year, and Bucky Irving, who's a fantasy favorite. All of the guys I just mentioned are elite in the receiving game, and all of these guys, despite losing Liam Cohen, I think are going to elevate this offense to heights that we have never seen. I think the Bucs win the NFC South, and it is on the back and the arm of Baker Mayfield. So again, this is a guy that finished top 3 in fantasy last year. I think nothing changes. I think he's a top 5 guy this year. So I have him at number 6 for now, just because the upside of the guys ahead of him are a little bit higher. But let's move into said top 5. These are all guys that can get it done at an elite level on the ground and through the air outside of Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is just kind of, hey, he has so many weapons around him. They have no defense in Cincinnati, and he's going to have to put up 30 points a week for that offense and the team to win. Outside of Joe Burrow there at the bottom, you have Jalen Hurts, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, the usual suspects at the top of the list. But at number 3, is a guy that we didn't really see having this great of an impact in year number 1. But boy, did he have one that it put the world on notice. Jaden Daniels in the fantasy world last year was the 5th overall quarterback, 21.5 fantasy points a game. This is a guy that can get it done at an elite level on the ground with his legs and through the air. And I think what separates Jaden Daniels from a lot of other quarterbacks is the fact that he gets those extra plays every single game. This is a Dan Quinn-led offense that, as we saw last year, is aggressive. If they're 4th and 5 and inside, they're gonna go for it. So he gets those extra opportunities over these other quarterbacks in the NFL. And this is a guy that they added a guy like Laramie Tunsil to improve the offensive line. They added Deebo Samuel to help out the receiving game. The only worry and the only question you should ask yourself on draft day, when Jaden Daniels is on the clock and you're ready to hit that button, ask yourself, do you think a sophomore slump is coming? Because in the previous, we've seen highly drafted quarterbacks hit a invisible sophomore slump wall. We've seen it with CJ Stroud and many quarterbacks before, where they have great rookie seasons, and then that second year, they just kind of stall out. The defenses kind of figure them out for whatever reason, and then, third year on, we really figure out who they are as quarterbacks. So if you think Jaden Daniels is going to hit a sophomore slump and he's going to be a quarterback 10 to quarterback 20, he's not going to be worth your draft price, which I believe is in the 3rd or 4th round. But if you believe this is a guy that can figure it out with the aggressive mindset that they have and the added options offensively, this is a guy that you want to draft as early as possible because he could dethrone Josh Allen or Lamar as the number 1 quarterback. A quick and to the point episode today, so any questions, comments, concerns, let me know down below, but these lists are subject to change. We dropped our entire quarterback list so far, top 20, starting at the end of this week, going into next week, we'll be doing the running backs, so on and so forth. So if you enjoy, again, support us, and until next time, get out of here.